Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, students.
Good morning,
Okay. How are you today?
I'm fine,
Okay.
sir.
Right. I hope everybody is. I'm fine. Thank you. Okay. So today we are going to continue our previous lesson. It was about conditional sentence type 2, right? Yes, so today we are going to study conditional sentence type 3 now. So it's continuation about our previous lesson. Okay, let's start. Okay, conditional sentence type 3. All right, so what are the objective of learning this topic? So the objective of learning this topic, number one, is student will be able to identify the social function and then the structure of conditional sentence type 3. All right, so and then you also will be able to differentiate text structure of conditional sentence type 3. Okay, differentiate the text or differentiate the structure of conditional sentence type 3. And then also you will be able to create a sentence using conditional sentence type 3. And then, of course, you will be able to state a correct form of conditional sentence type 3. If I give you some questions, you will be able to identify whether the sentence is correct or not. All right. So that is the purposes or the objective of our learning today. Okay, the contents, yeah, we're going to study about definition, function, formula of the conditional sentence type 3, and then a lot of example. Right, so conditional sentence type 3. What is it about conditional sentence type 3? Okay, conditional sentence type 3, we use conditional sentence type 3 to talk about something which refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. So we are talking about something in the past, right? So in the past, that thing is not happened or it's impossible to happen. Okay. Again, we are talking about conditional sentence type 3. It refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. Okay. And also these sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal. Why? Because it is now too late for the condition or its result to exist. So when we are talking about conditional sentence type 3 now, it's not going to happen or it's unreal. Why? Because it's too late now. Because we are talking about something in the past already. So it's too late. So it's not possible to happen then. Or it's unreal. When we are talking conditional topic, it means we are talking something unreal. Okay, so for example, if I had much money, I would have bought that house. So we are not talking about the situation right now, but we are talking about something in the past. For example, you wanted to buy a house, but you got a problem there. What's the problem? You didn't have much money, or you didn't have enough money to buy that that house because it costs a lot of money. But maybe today you have money. You have a lot of money. You are rich now. But do you think you can buy that house or not? If you have much money now? No, you cannot, because the situation already in the past. At that time, you didn't have money, so you couldn't buy the house. Now, for example, you have money to buy, but it's too late already. Maybe the house is bought by other person already. Okay, so you can say, if I had much money, I would have bought that house. But the fact is you did, what is the fact? The fact is you did not have much money and then you didn't buy that house. So this one in the parenthesis or in the bracket is the fact. What is the fact? The fact is you didn't have much money at that time and you didn't buy that house. Do you understand? Okay. So
Yes, sir.
that's why we express in conditional sentence type 3. Or another sentence, I can give you another sentence. For example, you failed in your previous test. Why? Because you didn't study very hard at that time. You played a lot in the last semester. Yeah, you played a lot in the last semester. And then you are saying now, it's like you regret. Oh my God. If I had studied hard in the last semester, I would have passed the exam. I would have passed the exam. What is the fact? The fact is you did not study very hard and then you failed. You were failed. You didn't success. You were not successful or you didn't pass the exam. You got it? Okay. Right. So this is the conditional sentence talking about. So we are talking about something in the past and its impossible condition in the past. Yeah. And it is unreal. It is unreal when we are talking now. It's unreal because why? It's now too late for the condition or its result to exist. Okay, next. Okay, there is always some implication of regret. So it means you seem that you regret. You regret, oh my God, why didn't I study hard? Yeah, and I failed because I did not study very hard. So then you are thinking in your mind now, if I had studied hard, if I had studied hard, I would have passed the exam. So you regret, nyesel gitu. Yeah. Okay. And the reality is the opposite of or the contrary to what the sentence expresses. Okay. So the reality or the fact is contradictive. Yeah. It's contradictive. What you are talking now, what you are using in your conditional sentence type 3, and then the fact, it's contradictive or it is the opposite. If you are talking in conditional sentence type 3, if I had studied hard, it means you did not study hard. I would have passed the exam. You say, I would have passed the exam. The fact is, you did not pass the exam. Okay, so the fact or the reality is the opposite of or the contrary to the fact or to the conditional sentence type 3. Okay, and then type 3, conditional sentence type 3, the time is in the past and the situation is hypothetical. Okay, next. Right, so before the previous topic, we also discussed about this. If clause, it is the condition element clause is the result. Okay, if clause, the condition how thing can occur, and main clause the result of if clause. Okay, or the result of the condition. Condition, what is condition? Syarat, yeah. Okay, something happened because of that because of that thing. Yeah, you can pass the exam if you study hard. So if you study hard, this is the condition. This is the syarat. Okay, and pass the exam is the result. Okay, right. So next is form of type 3. What is the form of type 3? So the form of type 3, we're going to start with if, and then after if is followed by past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. So have a look on my previous sentence. I said, if I head, there are two head there. Yes, there are two head there because the first head is as helping verb and then the second head as the main verb or the ordinary verb. So why do we have two? Yeah, we have two head but different functions. The functions are different. Yeah. Vikings, if you use another, because had is the past of have. Okay. If I have much money, if I had much money. Okay. Okay. Past perfect tense. So if you remember past perfect tense, what is the pattern of past perfect tense? And the next is a comma. Okay, comma. You have to put comma. So is not, or ignore so, because so is only what is that? I just want to put so, the meaning of that. Okay, and then it's followed by past future perfect tense. Past future perfect tense. Okay, past future perfect tense, it means will become would. It means would is past future. And then perfect tense, and we need have and then verb 3. So this is the form, the pattern of type conditional sentence type 3. If, and then past perfect tense, comma, and then the second clause is using past future perfect tense. Right? If you have a question, feel free to ask the question, okay? Next, okay, next is, okay, this is here, the if clause is condition, syaratnya, and then main clause is as a result, okay. Next, and then what about if you bring the, or if you place the main clause or the result clause at the beginning of the sentence? Can you do that or not? Of course, you can do that. Yes, you can do that. But the difference is the comma, okay? We don't need commas here. Okay, here, example, past future perfect tense. So, for example, like if I had much money, I would have bought that house. So, I would have bought that house if I had much money. That's fine. Yeah, you can switch it. You can swap the place of clause 1 and clause 2, or the if clause and the result clause. You can swap it. You can switch it. No problem. The next, okay, main clause, result clause, if clause is condition. If clause is condition, is syaratnya, ya. Okay, and then we are not going to talk about sentences. It can be verbal sentence and nominal sentence. Verbal, it means the sentence has verb. And nominal sentence, it means the sentence has no verb. I mean, the verb is derived or used to be as the verb, okay? Formula of the verbal sentence. Verbal sentence, it means the sentence has a verb. Yeah, it just like before, if plus perfect tense, okay, sorry, if past perfect tense and past future perfect tense. If, the if clause, if subject, had, with the helping verb, kata kerja bantu, had, and then verb 3, and then the object. For example, like my sentence, my previous sentence, if I had, this one verb 3 of have, had. If I had much money, and then subject, I would have, and then verb 3, buy, bought, yeah, bought that house. If I had much money, I would have bought that house. Or another example, if subject I had, this one I use study. What is the verb 3 of study? Studied, okay, right, and then hard. If I had studied very hard, comma, okay, comma here, I would have bought that house. I would have bought that house. Okay, verb 3. Verb 3. You got it? Understand? Any
Yes,
problem?
sir.
Any problem? Any questions? Do you have question? No? Okay, now we continue to the next. Okay, how the example? This is another example of verbal form. Yeah, verbal sentence. Has sentence has verb. If I had much money, I would have bought that house, like a previous sentence. Now, if I had gone to bed earlier, you wouldn't. Oh, sorry. If you had gone to bed earlier, you would not, or you wouldn't have felt so tired. Okay, let's talk about the second. What is this? A second sentence. If this is if you as a subject, had as a helping verb because we need had. You do not drop had because it's past perfect tense. Need had as a helping verb. Had, and then verb 3 of go is go when gone. Hey, if you had gone to bed earlier, you would not. And then you please remember again the result clause. What is the pattern or the form of result clause? Subject, you as a subject, would, it can be negative or positive, no problem. If it is positive, you don't need not, and then if it is negative, and then you need not, wouldn't. And then have, okay, as a helping verb, and then after have is verb 3, okay, verb 3 of feel, felt. Okay, so the sentence is, if you had gone to bed earlier, you wouldn't have felt so tired. Okay, this is if clause is in the beginning of the sentence. Now, we use another form, another pattern, all right? So, in this sentence, or in this example, the result clause brought to be the front, yeah, to the front, okay? And then the if clause or the condition is in the second clause, okay? That's fine. I would have bought that house if I had much money. Okay. I would have donated my money to charity if I had won the singing contest. Yeah, subject would plus have plus verb 3 and then object. And then the if clause or the condition, if, and then followed as a subject, and then had because it's past perfect tense, and then verb 3 win, won, right? One, okay, and then the sing contest as an object. Okay, right. Next slide. Now we're going to talk about nominal formula of nominal sentence. Nominal sentence is mean the verb is derived using to be, okay, or auxiliary verb. Okay, so if past perfect, the pattern is still the same. If past perfect tense, past future perfect tense, there is no difference. But the difference is we don't use verb here. Yeah. What are the to be? To be is MR. That is in the present. When to be is in the past, is become was. Yeah. I was. Am also become worse. Is become worse, am become worse, and then you become were, they were, we were. But okay, that is in verb 2, and then verb 3 is mr, was and were, and then form the third form is it's turned into been, yeah. It's become been. It becomes been. Okay, been. So the sentence is, if I had been diligent. Okay, if I had been diligent, I would have been rich. For example, I would have been rich because I was lazy. I was lazy when I was young. So I am not rich now. Okay. If I had been diligent, I would have been rich. Yeah. But the fact is, I was not diligent, and I, what is that? I'm not rich. Yeah, I was not rich, and I was not rich. Okay. Okay. So this is the pattern. I hope you remember and understand. Yeah. So the verb, it is using been instead of verb. Okay. Instead of verb, we use been. The next slide. Okay, this is an example. If I had been a student at CTF, I would have been very diligent. Okay. If I had been a student at City Foundation School, I would have been very diligent. Long time ago or in the past. Okay, in the past. So what is the fact here? The fact is I was not a student at City Foundation School. So, and maybe because of that, and I was not diligent. Yeah, because maybe the rule or the program or the system in my school is not like City Foundation. That's for example. It's only example. Okay, and then the second, if he had been rich, he would have been grateful. If he had been rich, he would have been grateful. Ya, seandainya dia kaya, ya, dia akan menjadi orang yang bersyukur. Ya, maybe not. Okay, so but this is only an example. What is the fact there? The fact is he was not rich, and then he was not grateful. Ya, grateful is banyak bersyukur. Okay. So the position of if clause is in the first sentence here. Right. Okay, next. If you had been on time to the meeting, I would have been grateful. Yeah. If you had been on time to the meeting, I would have been grateful. But the fact is, what is the fact is? The fact is you were not on time to the meeting, and I was not happy, and I was not grateful, and I was not happy. Okay, I didn't like it, it means. Okay, right. So here the next one, if subject had and then been as a verb 3, okay, and the verb third form of the to be MSR, and then was and were, and then been. The next is if he had been diligent, he would have been successful. If he had been diligent, he would have been successful, very successful. But the fact at that time in the past, he was not diligent, and then he was not successful. That is the fact. So the fact is always contradictive or contrary, the opposite, right? Opposite. Yeah. But again, it's in the past. Don't forget that. Okay, and the next is, okay, now we mix verbal and nominal example. Okay, if the weather hadn't been so bad, he would have gone to the park. Yeah, also you can mix between verbal, nominal and verbal. If the weather hadn't been so bad, he would have gone to the park. Okay, this is an example. The weather is a subject, had is a negative, and then connected with been. And then here is a subject, and then would, and then have, and then verb 3. The next sentence, the next example, I would have given everyone a bike if I had been a president of Indonesia. What is the fact? The fact is, I didn't give everyone a bike because I was not a president. Who is the president? Mr. Jokowi. Okay. If I had been a doctor, I would have treated you well. Yeah. In the past, talking in the past, yeah, I was not a doctor, so I couldn't treat you well because I was not a doctor. All right, so that is the fact. The fact is I was not a doctor and I did not treat you well. Okay, that's the fact. And then the last, if I had been a rich man, I would have traveled to Paris. If I had been a rich man, I would have traveled to Paris. Okay, so I had, and then here is mixing. Mixed with verbal and nominal, right? If I had been a rich man, I would have traveled to Paris. Had, and then verb 3 being, and a rich man here. And then I, subject, would, and then connected with have and travel because it's perfect tense, yeah, to Paris. What is the fact here? The fact is I was not rich man and I did not travel to Paris. Okay, all right, so I think we are now in the end of our session, but before we close, I have some question, and please turn on your microphone because we're gonna do this together. All right, so okay, the exercise is state whether it is correct or incorrect. Yeah, whether this sentence is a good sentence in conditional sentence type 3 or not. Okay, turn on your microphone, and number 1, who will answer number 1? Is it a good sentence or not? Is it a correct sentence or incorrect sentence? If I had worked harder, I would have passed the exam. Yes, please.
I think that's correct, sir.
Who is talking? Who is
Rahmi,
speaking?
sir.
So, sorry?
Rahmi, sir.
Oh, Rahmi, is it correct or incorrect?
I think that's correct, sir.
Is it correct? Yeah. If, and then I had as a past perfect tense, and then here I would have passed the exam. Yes, very good. That is correct sentence. Okay, that is good. Number 2.
Let me, sir.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's speaking?
Amanda, sir.
Amanda. Okay, Amanda, please.
For me, number 2 is incorrect because
Incorrect.
in the word I would have be. It shouldn't be, but it should be been because after have it should be the verb 3, and the verb 3 of to be is been.
Okay, very good. That's correct. That's right. I would have been happy if you have called me on my birthday. That's right. So this sentence is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Because it is using be after have here. It's supposed to be been. Okay, very good. Amanda, thank you. And then question number 3. Who will answer number 3?
Me, sir.
Who's that?
Echa, sir.
Okay, Echa, please, Echa.
I think the sentence is correct, sir.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So why is it correct? Nothing's wrong.
Because the formula if
Yeah.
equals have the if plus subject plus had. If you had given me, given is the verb 3.
Okay.
And in the formula of main clause, have subject, would, have, and verb 3. I think it's correct, sir.
Okay, very good. That's correct. Okay, one more. Okay. Okay, this one. Number 1. State whether it is correct or incorrect. Oh, this is not a state, but no, you got to change this sentence into verb 3. Sorry. Please change this sentence into conditional sentence type 3. Number 1, who will answer? Number 1, who will answer number 1? Change this into verb into type 3. Can you?
Let me, sir.
Okay, Amanda.
If I had much money, I would have paid your debt.
Okay, very good. That's right. If I had much money, I would have paid your debt. Okay, number 2. Who will answer number 2?
Let me, sir.
Yeah, please. Who's talking?
Shifa, sir.
Okay, Shifa, please.
I would have bought you a present if I had known it was your birthday.
Okay, I would have, but not had, but have. Okay, I would have bought you a present if I had, yeah, had known it was your birthday. Okay, thank you, very good. Now number 3. Number 3. Yes. Who will answer number 3? Is it good sentence or not? Or you need to change that? Correct or incorrect?
Already correct, sir.
It's correct. Okay. If it had rained, you would have gotten wet. Okay, that is correct. So rain can be verb. Okay. If it had rained, you would have gotten wet. Okay, very good. Okay. I'm happy because everybody understand, and I hope everybody understand. If you don't, or if you have a question, feel free to drop question in our discussion in our Schoology. All right, students, I think that is the end of our lesson today. And thank you for joining our class today. And thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Udah di stop Panas. Stop dulu Panas.
Belum, mana nih stopnya nih?
Ada di
mati
bawah
ya?
itu ada.
Kok mati
ada
ya?
di atas itu stop.
Kami merekam ini. Belum Pak, tunggu ya Pak.
Iya, iya.
Pak Ardi. Oh Pak Ardi.
Yang ini gambar yang apa? Warna merah yang di atas Panas, kan ada bacaan stop gitu.
No, stop recording, Pak, kamu nggak muncul ya?
Masa sih?
Stop recording, oh nih.